Okay, ready?
Ready.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Everybody wake up? Okay, it's 10 anyhow. That's good time, good, very good time. Today, in fact, I will talk about it's qualitative. So what we have, we are more specialized in qual, but in the qual, its ideas, different ideas are there. There is many different ideas coming up in the last few years. And so actually what we are using is more from psychology to put it on the focus group, which is the origin of the focus groups and the qualitative effect. So I will talk about what are the methods we used in addressing how to use word of mouth campaign for converting consumers from one brand, in fact from loose brand, which is generic brand, to a brand. And then I will explain it a little more in practical how we did it. So I will start first with should be working.
Maybe it's not on
No, it is on.
the laptop side.
Okay. This. It's not working from here too. Yeah. So we'll start, of course, with business issue. The business issue is to convert loose bleach users for house cleaning to branded product, which is brand. In fact, this was done for Clorox. So we wanted to use the word of mouth as a conversion agent. Making conversion. Conversion is usually about change of beliefs. And the psychiatrists, they say it's schemas, or in British schemata, or schemas in American English. Schemas is described as organized pattern of thoughts or behavior, but also it's a mental structure of preconceived ideas. Usually it's very strong and emotional, not only cognitive. So it is cognitive ideas, beliefs, but at the same time it's very rooted inside. But it depends of how schemas are strong in each person. Schemas influence attention. If I believe, for instance, if I believe somebody is good, if I hear any negative thing about him, I will just, I don't want to hear it. I will probably either ignore the information or maybe I will just find an excuse of whatever it is, just to have this coming information to fit with my schema or my belief, my ideas, and so on. So people more likely to notice things that fit into their schema while reinterpreting contradictions to the schemas as exceptions or distorting them to fit. So schemas are hard to change. What's our approach for what the business issue? We wanted to identify current schemas. We want to learn how to break the schema to develop counter-argument or claims. Identify word-of-mouth ambassadors, profile connectors. So our media is other people, so we want to have what their psychographic profile, who are the best to communicate. Identify target consumer profile, because schemas, it has different strengths as with different people. So which schemas we will break, and this applies to what kind of consumers that we will be dealing with. And of course implement the word of mouth campaign and measure impact, evaluate it. Again, the schema are hard to change, as we said, as it is stored in the emotional part of the brain. We need to choose schemas that we can change. To break schema, we need to know where the schema originated from and how it is being maintained. So we need what context, we need to know all the things regarding the schemas, how it is. If there is any questions, by the way, please do interrupt and please do ask, okay? To change schema, we need communication techniques. Usually to break schemas, we need to first acknowledge schema-driven beliefs while pointing out another more accurate view. So changing schemas, it has to be taking the consumer or the person who is having that belief, taking into a journey about acknowledging and then pointing out to another. So it cannot be aggressive or too aggressive communication. When a person faced with contradicting schemas, they are either ignore it, modify it, or change it. And this is what we are aiming for, is change. To break a schema, the decision involved in purchase must be important, personally relevant, and decision involved must be irreversible. And this is helping us in choosing that I want to change this. For instance, this is a cleaning thing. So cleaning, in deciding which brand to use or generic to use, it has to be important that I care about cleaning. And it's, of course, it's relevant to me. And purchase, I purchase, so I will use it. So I will not throw it out. By the way, there is, in the last 3-4 years, there is several papers on using that in marketing coming up. Some of them, they were published in the International Journal of Retail and Distribution Management and some other magazines as well. Making conversion. To activate conversion, we need to identify current schemas, identify how each schema was developed, relate schemas usage, attitude of the respondent to the category, profiling. We need to disrupt preset ideas in a way that surprise, compels, and react. This is a kind of a psychiatric wording. That's we need to identify, develop claims or argument break current schemas, which schemas can brand address. So if I have different schemas for the loose users, the loose bleach users, they have different schemas, but I need the one or the thing which is related to my brand, so I can enter with it. And even I can choose schemas which change the game. I mean, they are looking at the cleaning in one way, but I will take them in another way to look at it, which again fits my brand or fits the strengths of my brand. Which consumer profile is more likely to respond to the brand argument? And of course, we need to test claim for effectiveness. So we identify schemas, develop claim, and test impact. It's a process. It is a bit slow.
Once your device goes to sleep, I think.
No, this is not. It started, but it stopped. I think it's just slow. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, that was
So we want to know which schemas to address, what, as I said, what connector, what claim, who is the consumer profile target. So I'll talk now about how we apply that. There is, effectively, there is two different researches. One of them is to design the word of mouth campaign itself, and the other one is to assess the impact of the word of mouth campaign itself. The assessment is pre and post. So, in fact, what we did is to have two different geographical areas within Cairo, and one of them as a neutral, that no campaign will be done in it, and the other one where it started, the campaign will be done. And both of them, they are similar socioeconomic group structure. So what we are doing is to do a pre-campaign, so we understand what it's two things, in fact. The consumer, the beliefs, attitudes, and the behavior usage. And the other thing we did with the trade, we selected some of the shops, so we do audit from each brand, each SKUs, in fact, how much they sell during a month or so. The work is still in progress, so we made the design and everything. So we did the pre, but it's not the after yet. So I think next month we should do the after campaign. So we will measure what is the difference between them. And of course, the data should be normalized to have both areas to be in the same level, so we can measure the difference. The design of the word of mouth campaign, it's identifying medias or subjects or people to convey, identify, prioritize schemas to break or alter, develop communication, prioritize target consumers. Design of word of mouth campaign. We did identify first the consumer, who is a typical There is two types of consumers we are looking for. The general loyal consumers, either for the brand or Clorox users and for the loose generic users. And the other thing we needed to identify the profile of what we call them connectors or ambassadors, who will be used to convey the word of mouth. So we wanted to know what the best profile we should be looking for, so we can kind of recruit with them and communicate with them whatever we want. The other thing is, then after identifying that, we start kind of a series of focus groups, which I will go through it quickly. We wanted to know what schemas loyal and partial and loose consumers have, how schemas developed, and what usage and attitude consumers have toward cleaning. Then we want to develop schema breakers, what advocate connectors claim, how they react to different arguments. And from the different things we have, we start to make choices, what schema, what breaker, connector profile, target consumer profile, and then we make a final test.